Hi, this is Anton from Beast in Black and you're watching Chaoszine.
Okay, so hello everyone. Chaoszine is today here at the Riff Bar in Helsinki, Finland, and we have Anton from Beast in Black as guest. So before starting, hello, how's it going?
Hello, well, it's all good, thanks. How are you?
Just fine. Just finished talking with your bandmate Kasperi. We did some cool reaction videos, unfortunately in Finnish for the ones who are actually watching these afterwards, but yeah, it was fun.
Good.
To watch some music videos with him.
Yeah.
And actually you have also dropped 2 music videos so far.
Yeah.
From the album.
Exactly, yeah.
So what's actually like your relationship with music videos?
Well, it's first of all, we wanted to do something really differently with Beast in Black regarding music videos, something more ambitious and rich in its kind of artistic content.
Yep.
Instead of just doing this basic playthrough video with some kind of a story that follows like alongside the playing parts.
Yeah.
That's kind of all right, but it's been done already so many times.
Yeah.
It doesn't really satisfy the artistic hunger.
Yeah, you also wanted to take the next step with the videos.
Exactly. So it's all about like serving the art and the story behind it, and our director, writer Katri Kabanen took on the challenge when we asked her to direct the video and write the script, and I asked her to make a script that fully correlates with the lyrics of the.
I think she did an amazing job with both of them.
She did, because it was a huge challenge to kind of fit in a story worth of a full feature film into 6 or 6.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And somehow make it coherent and like make sense.
Yeah.
It might be a bit confusing at first, but if you really check it a few times and collect all the things, put them together, the right pieces of the puzzle in right order, you'll understand that, hey, everything makes totally sense. But anyway, it was fun challenge, and people seem to like it. You never know when you spend so much time in working on something, then you become kind of blind and emotionally numb to the thing, and kind of even sick of it, because you know the album making and the music video making happened alongside. Like they started early last year, and after such long processes, it was kind of always a painful process to let it go. But now that we have let go of the album and the videos are out, both 2 first videos, and people really seem to appreciate those, and the fact that they are different, they have acknowledged that it's something fresh. They noticed that, hey, it sounds like Beast in Black, but at the same time we offered a little bit something more music-wise and especially video-wise.
So obviously you have been doing the album for a couple of years now, and last time we actually met was last summer. I think it was Rock in the City Pori where we actually met.
Yeah.
So how important was it for you that you actually had the chance to sort of take a little bit time off and also play some shows in the middle?
Well, it was really nice actually to be able to go on stage after such a long break. Just to, throw away the rust.
Yeah.
Like not to forget how it was to feel that, to be on stage. But
did it give also some motivation for the album work?
In that sense, not really, because album work is something that I personally close the whole outside world for myself. So it's a whole different thing. When you're there, you're there. Everything else doesn't exist to you, kind of.
Yeah.
But when you go out of that bubble and go to play a few shows, you kind of wake up and do those shows and remember, wow, it felt also really nice. There's other than just this album in life.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was like refreshing to have those shows.
Yeah, for sure. So last time we talked, you said that you were working on a dystopian kind of song, and then the last song on the upcoming album is entitled My Dystopia. So was that actually the song that you were making around the time that we were talking? And did you actually do some like changes to it because you said that it's more like an instrumental track?
Oh, then it's possible that I was talking about that song because that song was originally instrumental. It was like 2.5 minute instrumental song, which I wrote in 2016.
Okay.
But in 2020 or 2019, like somewhere around those times, I kind of made it into a vocal version and a like full, like long song. 6 minutes or what is it? I think it's 6 minutes long. Or
Yeah,
something.
and that's the song that actually ended up in the album.
Yeah, I think it must be that because I can't fully remember what I was talking about.
Yeah, time flies.
Seems like I was talking about that song based on what you just now said.
Yeah.
Because the songs were selected for this album already in January or February last year.
Okay.
So it definitely is at least that song or some of the songs that's on the album.
So there's like once again a small step into new direction for you guys.
Yeah, as Beast in Black, definitely we have never done anything cyberpunk, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it gives a fresh new profile for this album and for the band that we are exploring this retro-futuristic kind of settings.
So where did actually like those like original first ideas came into your mind that this is something that you could write an album of, like around this sort of world?
Well, in 2018, I already knew that the next album is going to be cyberpunk themed. When From Hell with Love was already almost ready.
Okay.
I knew at that moment already, okay, next time it's going to be cyberpunk stuff. So 3 years later, it's done. But to me, it's more like a return to the beginning, to the roots, because with my previous band, Battle Beast, the 3 first albums which I wrote, the 2 first albums were cyberpunk influenced, not the 3rd one. But so to me, it wasn't a really new thing.
Yeah.
And after those 2 albums, I didn't write cyberpunk themed material until now for Dark Connection. So it felt like a familiar place for me to go back to. But I wanted to concentrate on the emotional side of things in a cyberpunk influenced world. Putting like humans and humanoid robots like face to face, and writing about the emotions and what can there be between them in that kind of a surrounding. And that's what the song Moonlight Rendezvous is about, and the music video.
Okay.
So it kind of deals with that. When the humanoid robots are showing more humane characteristics and features than humans themselves, basically.
Okay.
But they're still not having the same rights or treatment what humans can have. So that's a fascinating topic, and that's why I wanted to write about it on Dark Connection. And it's an old topic anyway in sci-fi. There's lots of books from decades and decades ago about this, and the film Blade Runner is also dealing with this same kind of thing. If you're not a human, you can be just erased, you're obsolete, you're not needed anymore.
So you said in a press release that you sort of stripped down those songs to like a MIDI demo level. So was that something that you haven't done before, and was your like approach to this album a bit different?
No, it was exactly the same. I think maybe there was some confusion or misinformation or misinterpretation in the press release. I always write my songs. The idea can come anywhere, and I might just have a guitar on my lap and play it. But when I decide that I want to make this into a full song, I always sit down and use Guitar Pro 4, like software, to write down every note of every instrument. And that has been the case since I was 12 or 13 years old, when I was starting to write music with that software. In the very beginning it was Guitar Pro 3, but then I upgraded to Guitar Pro 4. But even that version is like almost 20 years old or something.
Okay.
So I just did it the same way as always, and it's all kind of MIDI software.
Okay, yeah.
So
it always starts from there.
Yeah, whenever I see, this idea, I want to make it into a song, then I sit down and write it down. But the idea can happen like while driving a car or taking a stroll in the city or just grabbing a guitar or sitting at the piano or a keyboard. But you know you have to have some concrete material that you can present to the band members so they can practice the song. So that's why I write it on that software. When the songs are ready, I send them to the guys so they can learn their parts before entering the studio recordings.
Okay. Do you know if many musicians do it like your way?
Probably not. Usually bands, what I've like understood, write it more like together and like throw out ideas here and there. But to me, it's kind of it's such a like a complete process, like the composing part. There's nothing unclear in any instrument for me.
Yeah, if you do it like that way, then it's like completely clear.
Yeah, it's like the drums, the bass, the guitars, the keyboards, the vocals, the vocal harmonies, the arrangement and everything. Like it's just like if you hear something so clearly, why like not go all the way to the end? If you feel like, hey, I know how this must continue, you should just then trust your instinct, this creative instinct, and like act accordingly.
So there's few questions that I actually got from a super fan of yours.
Okay.
Who actually watched the first interview and actually wrote me like 8 questions based on that, saying that, hey, next time you meet Anton, ask these. Okay. And I was like, normally when you get those, they're like, come to Brazil sort of basic stuff. But he has actually like dug very deep. So I actually like replied that, hey, if you want to have some credits for these, I can ask these. And he said like, no need for any credit or any name, that he just want to know answers to these questions.
Sure.
So I'll ask you which he sent. Mm-hmm. So, So this is the first question that came from him. How did the death of Kentaro Miura impact you, and does it affect somehow the future of the band?
Well, I was devastated, and I still am when I think about it, and it certainly affects the future because it immediately made me think that, hey, I should probably write a bit more songs about Berserk, or maybe even in the near future, maybe make some kind of a like entirely Berserk-based album, maybe as a side project or a solo project or for Beast in Black. But it certainly like circles around my mind now quite often, this death of Kentaro Miura, and knowing that the story will not be completed like ever. So
the next question from him was obviously about that do you feel that somebody should finish the story, or do you feel that it should be left as it is now?
I think people can imagine the ending themselves, or if someone decides from the publishing company to hire some worker who was close to Kentaro to finish the story, maybe they can do it, but I personally wouldn't like support that idea so much.
So you would left it for everybody's imagination?
I would leave it as it is. But even if someone completes it, I would probably read it still. But somehow it just doesn't feel so right. And in a way, what Kentaro did, but what happened in real life is exactly kind of, he left us with the same kind of a cliffhanger what happened after the first anime, which came out in the 90s. After the last episode, you're left with such a cliffhanger that you're like dying, that you have to know what happens next. And that was my feeling, and that was the reason why I took the manga books and read them, because only then you could know what happens next. The anime was only 1 season, but the mangas were already much further than the anime. But the feeling of the cliffhanger, I remember that, and that was so strong. And kind of Kentaro now did ultimate cliffhanger for everybody. Like where the story is like.
So have you sort of imagined how the story would end, or have you sort of tried to not think about it?
I try not to think about it too much. Of course, I thought it in like like rough, like
roughly.
But not so detailed. I'm more thinking about the plans, how to integrate the already existing material to my future plans. Like I said, to write or not to write this fully Berserk-based album soon or in 10 years, and because there's so much content, and that keeps on inspiring forever. You know, it never stops from being influential. So Kentaro became immortal already during his lifetime, and there is no need to kind of for him or like the production company or the publishing company to prove his value. Like, he is what he is, he did what he did, and that easily can be enough. Like, and let people enjoy what he did. And yeah.
So obviously, like in Beast in Black, you are like very much like the main guy when it comes to writing. But the guy wanted to know that, have you ever thought of making a complete like solo album with your own singing and doing like everything on your own?
Yeah, sure, that's been brewing in my mind also. Also because I really love, you know, this kind of Eurobeat, Italo disco. I could just go like brutally techno. Not techno, I don't know if it's the right word, but kind of, you know, do some different kind of instrumentations. You know, I love synth bass, for example, and you know, in real band you have a real bass, but if I go like the synth way, it's gonna be like synth bass, like, and not no real bass, and the like the drum sounds can be quite little bit different, and me singing some songs entirely, it's totally possible, like, and probably will happen sometime in the near future. But you know, Beast in Black is always priority number one. So first we have to do this like fully, like with each album. I mean, to squeeze out everything out of Dark Connection. That is the main priority now.
Yeah, for sure.
Massive tours and everything.
So obviously, this album once again, like musically, is really uplifting, and you get like really positive vibes from listening to it. But obviously there's like quite dark lyrics sometimes within your song. And the fan wanted to know that, is that something like, or is that sort of like an unconscious thing for you, that those lyrics can turn out dark even though the music is uplifting? Or do you do it on purpose, that there is that like different sides?
It's not like on purpose, it's not calculated, it's just combines the contrasts that are within myself, you know, as a composer, you know. You shouldn't explain your art, but the art explains you.
Yeah.
That's kind of the ideology behind that. So there are those positive feelings, and you know, it's more like I want to feel uplifted. I want to have this powerful feeling. I do it through music, but then the things that kind of maybe weigh on my mind, I put those out through lyrics. So that's how it's combined then in a song.
Okay. So yeah, that was actually everything that he had.
Super, so, great questions.
Yeah, those were actually like really thought out. So that's why I said like immediately to him that I'll do him a favor and ask the master himself. Yeah. So before we wrap things up, I want to ask you a bit about the future. Mm-hmm. So how does it look for you? Will there be like a third music video out from the album before it drops? And what will happen after the release of that?
Yeah, there will be a third music video, and maybe even fourth and fifth, who knows.
Okay.
Not everything is ready yet, but we definitely want to tour massively. Of course, the pandemic affects the plans, but eventually the world will adapt and find solutions to cope with this pandemic. And
I'm quite hopeful that next year will be like completely sort of normal when it comes to playing shows.
Yeah, I'm also not actually like kind of panicking or stressing about that, because I know that it will happen sooner or later, and probably sooner.
Yeah, now.
So, and I think that 3 years, 2, 3, 4 years of touring. That would be something that's realistic maybe with this album. But at the same time, of course, we would be productive content-wise. We would work on future album ideas or more music videos, something like that.
Hey, thanks a lot, Anton, for
Thank
the
you.
chat, and all the best for the release of the album. Anything you want to say as last words to all the fans?
Well, thanks for the patience, and I hope that the album will turn out to be worth the wait. I know it's been a long time, but I hope it will give a lasting listening experience to all of our fans. And until then, until the release of the album, just take care of yourselves, of your family and friends, and that's about it.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.